Hi guys, I'm with Matt with Heroic Tactics. My name is Luke, and this is my ROC team. If you notice, it's kind of wonky. There is a orange power battery, an Ophidian possession on Copperhead, an Alyosha Kraven, and a President Lex Luthor. The way this team works is it's made for prime alpha strike. Basically, the gist of it is slapping the catapult on Alyosha Kraven will allow Copperhead to take up 8 spaces, and then Copperhead will get a free movement because of the animal keyword. And Copperhead, since he has Ophidian possession, and generally he would have a construct on him, he'll get 12 movement. So he'll pretty much phase up 20 squares, and he'll be at the front of their map, knocking on their starting zone. And it went through a lot of test phases. I was able to get a lot of excellent practice thanks to Matt, and I figured out the 2 primary weaknesses of my team was either taking away my free actions or pulse wave, which would eliminate all the extra bonuses. So I went with the orange power battery and Ophidian because, one, I give Copperhead pulse wave, which lets me knock down all those heavy guys, and I can also take away other people's pulse waves or barriers or super senses because of Kyle Rayner. The ROC team itself did pretty well. I went 2-2. I was able to, I think out of, when I made the top 16 cut, I was like 9. So that was pretty awesome. I ended up getting eliminated top 16, which was a blow, but I lost to a guy who had a team of Kyle Rayner, Evan Sir, Orange Power Battery, and he ended up winning the whole thing. So I don't feel so bad. You know, I lost to the eventual state champion. It was a blast. I learned a lot of new things, like, for example, Golican, the Pog that Kraven comes with, if you make him an Orange Quartz member, he gets free barrier. Free barrier. All the time. That's crazy. And
Alright, so, if you guys are wondering about how Lion gets perpetual free barrier, so, I would give the power action to the battery and I would slap the wall construct, or not even the wall construct, I could slap on a bulldozer to Lion. And when the Lion becomes a corpse member, through the ring bonuses, he would gain plasticity and barrier. Now, the cool thing about the Lion and Kraven is, as long as Kraven is on the map, the Lion gets 1 action as a free action every turn. So, what you can do is, since he's now a corpse member and he can use a barrier as a power action, then you can use that barrier as the Lion's free action, which is 4 blocking terrain every single turn without ever having to give him an action token. And for prime strategy, you could move him up 6 squares and then give him that free action barrier for optimum placement, and it would be awesome.
And another cool thing with Copperhead is he's just a nasty piece altogether because you have to go through his shape change, his super senses, and generally 20 defense. The true MVP of the team, though, even though Copperhead was the scary piece, was actually President Lex Luthor. The initial choice for choosing him, even though he's a lot of points in a 300-point team, was the fact that, well, since he's my highest point member, he would pretty much ruin the pack for any teams that run high points because he's the highest point member. And if you noticed, he doesn't do any attacking. Every time I would be matched up, they weren't really familiar with him as a piece altogether. So a lot of times they would read the card and I would have to explain it to them. Now, President Lex Luthor has 2 wicked traits. The first trait is he gets to pick a hero. And when he picks a hero, that hero gains the ability to do a free action at the beginning of turn, and he can boost up a stat according to how many clicks he's on. So if he's on click 1, click 2, that's how many combat values he can add plus 1. The second trait, which is also awesome, is the fact that he can -1 defense any character on the map, any opposing character on the map, without range or line of fire. And it's not even a perplex. So he can just stay at his end of the starting zone and make that 20 defense beat stick really hittable. And that's what it was. Now, the cool combination that I was able to get to work, which would never really work in general, is getting enhancement bonus on a pulse wave. Now, the reason why that worked is because Copperhead, since he gets +1 to his combat values due to having a construct and being a course member, he has 1 range. And when I choose Pulse Wave on Ophidian, he actually gets a 1 range Pulse Wave. So if I base someone, I'm guaranteeing that I'm pretty sure I'm going to get a single target Pulse Wave. And since Copperhead would generally have a 13 attack, he would get an extra 1 damage enhancement from Lex Luthor because he would be adjacent to the bounty target. And so that would be a 6 damage pulse wave right off the bat for 13 attack against a defense that has already been -1. So Copperhead was really scary right off the bat, and a lot of people weren't expecting that. And then if that didn't work, I could always do Flurry Incap. And with Flurry Incap, Copperhead would be potentially swinging for 10, 11, or 12 damage. And with that, he would add an action token if he hits you twice. And also, the cool thing was I would be able to take away Super Senses or Shape Change, which would neutralize a lot of the annoyance factors. So, Copperhead was the main alpha striking team. He would tie up the team initially, and that would throw off a lot of guys who weren't expecting me knocking on their door. Lex would just build up clicks. And then the second tactic, if Copperhead ends up getting eliminated, was spinning the power battery. Because by the time to get rid of Copperhead, I'm already on click 15, 16 with my power battery. And with the orange battery, since you can always give it a power action, it can constantly push without having really relying on the dice. So at one point in my game, I was actually able to get Kraven with 3 constructs on him with power number 6 on the power battery, and that's what actually won me my second game, which was really awesome. Yeah, and that was the gist of it. Ophidian was awesome. Copperhead, no one saw coming because he's only a 70-point beats. He was my 70-point one-man army, the way I essentially played him. Some tips about rocks: don't be afraid to try wicked teams. Don't be afraid to try crazy teams, because if they don't see it coming, they don't know how to go against it. 2, practice, 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 because even after a month of practicing, I learned new things at the state championships, like with the lion in the free barrier, or using Copperhead's single target pulse wave. I learned that at the brink of playing against these people who've probably also been practicing. And always be ready for some crazy kooky connections, because that's also right off the bat, people will throw stuff crazy at you. I hope you guys enjoyed my team. I hope you guys like the team. You guys can always try it and make someone get really upset. This is thanks to Matt with Heroic Tactics, because he supported a lot of the pieces, like the power battery and the ion protection, because as a pro college student, I can't afford those things. And I hope you guys play heroclix. I hope you guys enjoy it, and I hope you guys like the video. Thanks a lot.